Johanna. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing another junk journal with me video. So it's just a video where I share my process of working in my junk journal. So as always, I just go through my journal and I choose a page to work on. And so once I've done that, I've pulled out this little folder. This is where I'm keeping all of my day-to-day ephemera, so things that I accumulate from my real life. At the moment, I've just recently reorganized my journaling tote bag, and so this is like my new system that I'm trying out. So everything from my day-to-day life gets thrown into that little wallet. And so what I've done is gone through and pulled out some pieces that I thought I might use. So I've got some photos here from a day that my sister took some photos of myself and my kids. She wanted to try out doing some videography for the first time. So she put together this little clip, this little video clip of me and my kids, and so I'm going to link that below if you guys want to check that out. My sister is a photographer, so if you went and liked her Facebook page, I'm sure she would be thrilled as well, but I will link the video so you can have a look at it. And yeah, so I've got a couple of photos here that my other sister just took behind the scenes on my phone, so they're not the professional photos, but that's all I have at the moment, so I included some of those. And then I have this little A5 display folder, which is where I'm keeping all of my printables from my Etsy shop. So I have lots of different packs of vintage linens, so little vintage embroideries that you can use as paper, and so they make really cool journaling cards and just digital paper to play with. So I've gone through and I'm pulling out some that I thought would work with this spread. I wanted to make it really warm toned to match the photos, so I pulled out anything that had like yellows or oranges. So I end up choosing this big doily, which is probably my favorite ever. It's got some beautiful orange cross stitch on it. So I go ahead and cut that out properly, and I'm going to use that as a background for the page just to get me started. This particular linen is from pack 12, in case you are wondering. But yeah, I love this piece, it's so pretty. So I use my glue stick to stick it down on the page, and that just gives me like a starting place to start journaling and start sticking all my bits and pieces down. Then I chose one of the photos. I chose the one that had all three of my kids all together, and that's what I'm going to use on this spread. So I have to trim it down so it fits on the page nicely, and then I thought about using it as an actual pocket, but I didn't have any double-sided tape lying around, so I just glued the entire thing down on the page. If I did want to make it a pocket, I could have just put double-sided tape on the edges and along the bottom, and that would have given me a really easy pocket to stick some journaling or something inside. And then here I have these new printables. These are not from my Etsy shop, they're from my friend Liz's shop. It's called Molly's Mantle, and I will link it below so you can check it out. These printables go really well with the vintage linens, so if you like the linens, definitely go check out this shop. She has a bunch of new printables that are real vintage trims, so they're scanned in and you can print them out, and it gives you that look of texture without the bulk of texture. So same sort of thing as with the linens. If you want to have like a textured look, or you want to be able to write on top of embroidery, this is a really easy way to do that. So yeah, so I've cut out a couple that I thought I might like to use. I think the packs these are from, the first one is from Tapestry, that orangey one, and then the whiter one with the flowers, the pinky one, is from the pack Dorothy, and then the yellow one that I end up using later on, I think it's from a pack called Good Morning Sunshine, but I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they worked really well with this spread, and I had a lot of fun using those, so you'll probably be seeing me use those a whole lot in the coming months. So next I have this little painting that I did recently. I just wanted to try out some new paints that I got. So I had a little play around and did this little painting of, it's supposed to be Rue laying in the grass, and so I stuck that on the page with staples, and then I'm using one of those trims along the bottom because the colours worked really well together. So it's just kind of like washi tape, and they are called vintage washi trims. They just look really dimensional. They look like they are fabric, but they're not. Next, I'm just choosing another linen to use. So I wanted to make a page, like an extra page, that had a decorative edge to it. So I choose this light blue one. It's got like a scalloped edge, which is really pretty, and I'm going to include this as an extra little slim page. Because I've just printed my linens out on regular copy paper, I needed to back this, so I just pulled out some scrapbook paper from my scrap drawer and glued it on, and so that's just going to make the page a whole lot more sturdy and a lot more usable, because I'll be able to stick things on top of that. So to stick this into my book, I'm just going to use washi tape again. I'm using this wide tape from Washi Wednesday, which I'll also try and link below if I remember to. This tape is super wide and super sticky. So it's actually so wide that I trimmed the piece down in half so that it was half as wide, and used half on either side of that little extra page. So that just gives me a little bit of extra room to play around with my journaling and all the bits and pieces that I want to include on this spread. Next, I have this tag from an Etsy shop. So this is just a cute little tag that had some like orangey yellow fabric on it. And I wanted to include that because the colors worked well, and I just stapled it along the bottom of the page with the ribbon hanging out the bottom, because I like to have things that are textured that you can touch. So I like how that turned out. And then I'm going to glue in a receipt that I have. This is just a receipt from a cushion that I got recently. So I'm sticking that onto one of the pages, and then I'm also going to stick a photo of Rue on that as well, just because the cushion is actually in the photo, so it just works well, and it's a really cute picture. Then I have one more of those vintage washi trims that I wanted to add in because the tones were right. It's like a pretty light yellow with a floral on it. And so I stick that down the edge of one of the pages. I also have this little transparency piece that has some texture paste on it in a floral design. This is from my friend Kaylee from some mail that she sent me a while ago, and I've just had it laying around, so I wanted to include it, and I ended up layering it on top of a scrap of a paint chip, this yellow paint chip, and so I just staple that onto the page, and the little Etsy shop tag keeps that sort of closed together. Added a bit of washi tape along the bottom of that page, and then some more washi tape. This is actually a really cool roll of washi tape because it's tickets and they're perforated, so you can just tear them off. So I teared off two, and I put the yellow one on one side and the green one on the other side to decorate the page a little bit more. And then I'm going through my folder full of stickers and pulling out anything that I think might work. I also have a few sheets of die cuts in this folder, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just popping out a few of those that I think would work as well. And there was quite a few pieces that would have worked for this layout just because the colors were right and the quotes were really fitting. So I just went through each piece and just pulled out a bunch of stuff that I could use to decorate it. So one of those die cut pieces were really large and it fit across one of the pages perfectly. So I just stuck it along the top of that page, and then I stuck a couple of other stickers around to decorate. One of them, this blue one, is a die cut again, and this one worked really well because it was almost the same color as one of the linen printables that I included. Blue linen printable is also from pack 12. In case you are wondering, I have two newish packs in my shop. So pack 12's been in there for a while, but I also have pack 13, which just went in a couple of days ago. So yeah. So that large die cut piece ended up getting in the way of me opening and closing the page. So I trimmed it down, and then I added another one of those washi tape tickets to keep it from peeling up. And then I'm just going to add a couple more little stickers around the place to decorate. Then I'm going to get right into my journaling. So I really like to journal on top of my linen pieces. I think that it looks really pretty and it's a really easy, pretty way to use them. So I do some journaling on that, and then I do some journaling directly on top of one of the pages that had the botanical print on it. And then I'm also going to do some more journaling on the other page that has the painting, and I'm just going to write directly on top of the ledger paper. I really love journaling on the ledger paper whenever I can because it's lined, so it's really convenient, and it always just looks really cool to journal on ledger paper, and it's always fun to journal on ledger paper. So I did that, and then I added a little bit more washi tape along the bottom of one of the pages. Again, because that tape's so wide, I just teared it in half. I just felt like that page looked a little bit blank along the bottom, so I did that, and then I added the other half on the first page along the bottom as well, just really slightly, and folded it over the page for another day. Added a tiny bit more journaling on top of the paint chip so it kind of peeks through the transparency that has the texture paste, and that is the finished spread. So I really like how this one turned out. I like all the different elements and all the textured and layered pieces, so everything kind of looks pleasing to look at and you can touch it, and there's like lots of different little textures, and yeah, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. I hope you guys enjoyed this process video. If you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up so I know to keep them coming. I'm really trying to get a bunch of Junk Journal with me videos out to you guys because I know you guys really enjoy them, and I always enjoy filming them and editing them because they are just lots of fun. So I hope you guys liked it. I hope you're all doing really well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.